Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, Rich Levinsky is going to be with us talking about consultants in the workplace. I had a thought that I wanted to share with everybody, and this happened last week with a candidate of mine by the name of Mike. Mike had a pretty darn good track record in college, did really well, but he's been out of college for about 9 years now. And every job he's ever had only lasted maybe 2 years at the most. There was always something a little wrong with the job, always something where he couldn't quite do as well as he would like. Left of his own accord in most of these positions, wasn't as happy about them, performed okay by most standards, pretty well, and came to me looking for an opportunity. I got him 3 interviews and he missed the first one because he was so late that the company didn't want to interview him. He showed up 30 minutes late. He missed another one because of a Zoom call that he had to make before the interview. And the third one he missed because he couldn't get the technology to work. And every little thing was going wrong with Mike. Mike was brilliant. Mike had a tremendous amount of talent and ability, but at least in the interviewing process and in his job history, Mike was falling short of the standards that he needed to have in order to get the job. And it reminded me of years ago of our son, one of our sons, Brian, who played basketball at LSU. When he graduated from high school, he was one of the better players in the country. Obviously, to be able to go to LSU or any place like and play basketball, you have to be pretty good. There were lots of kids that he played against, and not only in the leagues that he was in across the country, but even here in Texas, there were lots of kids with, frankly, more talent. They had a lot of talent. And going into college, they got into college, and some of these kids played at some pretty prestigious organizations, more prestigious than LSU, because of their talent. And it was real interesting. By the time Brian graduated from college, he ended up playing basketball overseas for 10 years. It was amazing the number of those kids that had a heck of a lot more talent than he did that had fallen by the wayside. Some of them weren't even in college anymore. Lots of them weren't playing college basketball at all anymore. They had dropped out, and many of them just plain hadn't succeeded. They had a tremendous amount of talent. And it reminded me of Mike. There is a lot of talent that goes on out there, but as the poem says, there's a lot of talent that it's not uncommon to find lots of people with talent that goes wasted. And it takes discipline. It takes hard work. It takes doing the things every day that not everybody is going to be able to do. Nothing in the world takes the place of persistence. Talent won't. There's nothing more uncommon in this case than unsuccessful men with talent. If you don't do the talent, if you don't do the work, you don't do the repetitions, the everyday grunt work that you got to do, that got to go to work, the simple stuff, showing up on time, going the extra mile, doing things that other people don't. Talent is only going to get you so far. And talent obviously has carried Mike for a while, But I can see why Mike hasn't been as successful as he could be, because he has no self-discipline. He has no work ethic. He expects that his talent is going to carry him. And there comes a point in all of our careers, business careers, that talent is only going to get us so far. The discipline of that talent, the hard work, the taking a system that you're going to work a system and working at it really hard, harder than most. When you see a lot of people with talent that have been successful, they'll tell you it's mostly hard work. Talent might be a God-given gift, but the work ethic that people have to get into it. I mean, look at Steph Curry, look at LeBron James, look at Matthew Stafford. I mean, those people work really, really hard. Do they have talent? Tremendous amount of talent, tremendous amount of talent. But it's the hard work and determination. And it was just really interesting to see what happened at the end of Brian's college career to all of those kids, not all, but many of those kids that had a tremendous amount of talent, but no self-discipline, no work ethic, no determination to really go out and push that talent to the limit. It looks like that's what's happened to Mike. And it's really kind of a shame, because in looking at Mike's background and looking at his ability, he has a tremendous amount of ability. And for the past 8 or 9, 10 years, his talents carried him. But the fact that he isn't working very hard and his determination isn't there, and the willingness to work really, really hard, it's going to limit him. So think about that when you do your daily job. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashara with the Job Search Solution.